Have you ever noticed how your garden changes through the months? Almost like it has its own personality. Today, I'd love to share a beautiful metaphor written by Vita Sackville-West, exploring the hidden ages your garden moves through during the year, and how noticing these subtle transformations can make your garden journey even more inspiring. I've been reading through Vita Sackville-West's book, In Your Garden Again. Let me read from the inside cover. For some 15 years, from 1946 until 1961, The Observer carried a weekly gardening column by Vita Sackville-West. Already established in her youth as a poet and a novelist, and the co-creator of the Great Garden at Sissinghurst Castle, she combined her talents to create a unique gardening chronicle. Her readers eagerly anticipated each week's installment and responded in their hundreds with letters of gratitude and occasional indignation. The popularity of her articles was due to her unusual ability to weave a simple, honest account of her gardening experiences with an inspiring, romantic sensibility. And in her article dated March 25th, 1951, Vita Sackville-West shared an interesting idea, that our gardens have their own special ages through the seasons, like March as a moody teenager, April and May as an enthusiastic young adult, and summer months growing mature and wise. Each month brings its own unique personality, helping us appreciate how gardens, just like people, grow and change beautifully over time. That means that spring definitely represents the youth of the garden. The calendar here has officially welcomed us Midwest gardeners to springtime. And here in the last weeks of March in my Zone 6A garden, which is located in southeast Michigan, springtime arrives in the garden with a bit of uncertainty. The days are fresh and sometimes a bit moody, starting to reveal the first hints of the garden to come. And as Vita Sackville-West said, March is by no means always sweet. Here in Michigan, the hellebores are just starting to bud and to bloom. Most of the snowdrops throughout the garden are past their prime, but there's still a few clumps here and there with those graceful white nodding blooms. I'm starting to see hints of seeds germinating from the winter sowing that I started back in January and February. The seeds that I'm most excited to grow this season are the blooms I've planned for the renovation that I'm doing inside the 4 boxwood borders in my back garden. Vita Sackville-West's writing inspired me to try implementing a white and blue color scheme this season. Hi, so we're back here on my patio, and I just wanted to share, these are some of the seeds that I'm winter sowing. A lot of the seeds that are here are going to be planned for the back garden renovation. I'm going with a blue and white color scheme. And I just noticed that a couple of these seeds are starting to germinate. So let me turn the camera around. I'll share what seeds are growing here and just give you a little peek at what they look like. So a couple of these seeds that I'll show you here are brand new to me, and they're planned for the back border. So I've got this blue woodruff, and I also have the variety of the same plant, but it is a white blooming variety. Now, the thing that's interesting about this flower, it's about 12 inches tall, so it's a shorter plant, and it also grows in from sun to part shade, so this is going to be perfect for my back border. I also planted a white blooming larkspur. I'm going to try growing this under grow lights as well as winter sowing it. The same goes for this jasmine tobacco plant. Another plant I'm super excited about is this white blooming lupin. Now, I won't see these bloom this season since I'm growing them from seed, but I should see them next season. So this is just the white blooming variety of that woodruff seed, and I just noticed yesterday that I'm starting to see some little seedlings germinating there, so very exciting time in the garden. Yeah, so we're here just in my back border, and this is always an exciting time of the season. So you can see here that my goldfinch hellebores are just starting to bud out here. So nice to see these flowers. I'm just amazed at how tough these flowers are, really. But such a sight for sore eyes, the harbingers of springtime. As we move into April, the garden is going to continue to show signs of promise. And my favorite sight during April are the daffodils. And I'm looking forward to seeing the new varieties I planted in autumn. April is definitely an exciting month in the garden. That's the time that we start to see all of our favorite spring blooming bulbs, anemones and trout lilies, the giant snowflakes. The hellebores are still blooming, primroses, and ajuga. I can understand why Vita Sackville-West felt that April was like being 18. The garden season has its whole life ahead, and the possibilities are endless. By the middle to the end of May, the new seedlings are going to come out from underneath the grow lights to start getting ready to move into the garden. The month of May for me is the most hopeful. So many possibilities to look forward to. May is a season that is beautifully confident, full of color and fragrance. May is the time in my garden when my favorite bulbs and flowers make an appearance. Last season I grew the tulip Ballerina, which was a bright orange lily-flowering tulip. And this May, I'm looking forward to seeing a few new tulips in the garden, including Queen of the Night and Grand Perfection. And in my garden during May, it's the time for irises and peonies, two of my favorite early blooming flowers. I'm especially looking forward to seeing an heirloom variety of iris that's purple and white called Wabash. I got this beautiful iris from my mom's garden. And let's not forget the stars of the May garden, the alliums. I always look forward to these beautiful purple blooms in my garden, and this year is no different. Vita Sackville-West wrote, June is 20 to 25, and then July leaps to 30 to 35, August from 40 to 50. As June arrives, our gardens move into their prime season. June is lush and full of beautiful blooms, just bursting with energy, confidently showing off everything. Vita Sackville-West said that July is like being 30 to 35 years old. July is the beginning of the peak season in my garden. This is when the garden is filled with tons of flowers and pollinators. And come August, the garden is in its full maturity. Rich with experience and depth, Vita Sackville-West used the metaphor that August in the garden is like being from 40 to 50 years old. August is definitely a time for sitting back and enjoying the blooms, harvesting vegetables, and appreciating the efforts of all of your work. It is a great time to sit back and appreciate your beautiful garden. This is typically when I start to wish that the garden season wouldn't end. I feel like this time spent in our gardens teaches us as much about ourselves as it does about gardening itself. And Vita Sackville-West wrote that September moves us to a mature, mellow 60 years old. I like to think of this period as the one that's filled with quiet wisdom. By the time September arrives at my garden, the garden is starting to take on a softer, mellower mood. This is the time in the garden when the Japanese anemones are blooming, and you can tell that the colors are just starting to fade a little bit. By the time October rolls around, the colors start turning gold, and you start to see the leaves changing here in the autumn. Vita Sackville-West wrote that October is even mellower, yellower, 70 years old. But no matter what the season, the garden is filled with inspiration and beauty. There's beauty and wisdom in every season, just like life itself. For me, Vita Sackville-West's beautiful metaphor about gardening and aging reminds us that gardens tell a story. Every month, every season brings a fresh, inspiring chapter. When we pause and notice each stage, our gardening becomes richer and more meaningful. As gardeners, we learn to appreciate that there's beauty and wisdom in every season, not just in our gardens, but in life itself. Each season in our garden reflects our own journey, times of excitement, periods of growth and challenge, and moments of quiet reflection and wisdom. So, as you watch your garden change and grow throughout the upcoming year, remember this wisdom. Every season has something precious to offer. Embrace each chapter, learn from it, and allow your garden to teach you about resilience, patience, and the simple joys that can be found in the everyday. I'd love to hear what month or season in your garden inspires you the most. That's it for this video, friends. I'll see you in the next one.